In today's video, I'm installing the riser base for the LX2 from LaserPecker so that I can engrave this super thick piece of wood. Hi everyone, welcome to the Laser channel where we learn, create, and share. My name is Greg, and in this video, I want to engrave this super thick chunk of wood on the LaserPecker LX2. However, the machine in its stock form, the laser will not clear over the thickness of the material, so I have the riser base kit that's gonna raise the machine up so that we can create today's project. Now, before we jump into all of that, full transparency, you have undoubtedly already seen the note up in the corner of the screen that this video is marked as paid promotion. I'm not being paid to make this video, but LaserPecker did send me the machine and the accessories so that I can simply share my experience with all of you. Now, with all of that covered, I'm gonna dive into this box, check out what the kit looks like, get it installed on the machine, and we're gonna check out the laser design software, just a few of the basic steps on what it takes to create a project on the LX2. Let's get started. I'm going to grab the camera off the tripod so it can go on a little field trip here, and that is because the very first thing I saw when I opened up the box is this thing right here. This is going to be the rotary attachment for the LX2, and this is something I was not aware that could come with the riser base kit. I'm actually going to reach out to LaserPecker and check to see if this is something that comes with all the riser base kits or just select kits. The other thing that I noticed is this framework for the kit is all metal. That probably explains why this box is so heavy. The kit is pretty straightforward. There's a right side and a left side, which means there's going to be a front and a back. There's a box for the rotary attachment parts. That's going to primarily be the jaw adapters for hanging onto different types of objects. Some rotary jaw pins for hanging onto small objects like jewelry and rings, a tape measure, and a level. To assemble the riser base, there's a box for tools. Inside of that, of course, are going to be some tools, a bag of screws, more screws and Allen keys, 2 more bags of screws, and the USB cable for connecting the rotary attachment up to the LX2. To make sense of all the screws and the parts, of course, we have the user manual and the assembly guide for the riser base, and for the rotary extension, we have the same thing, the installation and user guide as well. Following the instructions, I have the pieces and parts upside down. There's a cluster of 3 bolts here, the same thing on the other side, and all I have to do is grab the appropriate screws and the included tool and start joining some pieces together. The same thing for the back. I'll turn the part upside down and bolt it onto the rest of the assembly. The base is all bolted together, and now I can flip it over. This might require 2 people to flip this around because it is quite large and it does have a lot of weight to it. From here, I'm just going to open the front and the back pass through, and I can set the LX2 on top of the riser base and remove the crumb tray from the machine because it can now slide into these tray slots here for different heights of different materials. Things are moving right along and very smoothly. One tip that I have for you when bolting the machine down to the riser base is the 6 screws that tighten everything together. Start all 6 screws first before tightening them down. You might find that you might need to wiggle the machine a little bit to get the holes to line up correctly. And now I can take the crumb tray that I just removed and slide it into one of the tray slots on the riser base. Before I jump into the computer for today's sample project, the brief overview of the riser base kit, in case you're jumping around through this video, it is all metal construction. It's really solid. The crumb tray has multiple shelf positions for different thicknesses of material. There is a front and rear pass-through door, nice sturdy hinges, and the doors hold securely shut with magnets in each of the corners. With all of that covered, I can now grab my thick wood slice, place it inside of the machine, and now that I've got the clearance of the laser over the material, we can now jump into the computer and check out today's graphic along with the simple process of using the laser design software to create a project on the LX2. Wow, this is my first time sitting next to the machine with the riser base installed, and I thought, am I slouching in my chair? Nope, the machine is just really that tall now that my sight line is just barely over the top of the machine. This is a huge machine. Now let's turn our attention into the LaserPecker design software, or as I like to call it, the LDS. When we hop inside here, everything looks like it normally would with the LDS software. However, right now for the LX2 machine, because it's new, it is running a beta version of the LDS software that is just for the LX2 machine. First thing I'm going to do is kind of get my bearings of where the material is in the machine, and the LX2 has a built-in camera system. So I'm going to come up here and refresh the camera view. And there we go, I've got my block of wood in there, and right now we're going to see that it's up here in the gray area. So I'm gonna get rid of that message right now. Up here in this gray area, I can still engrave up in that area, but I prefer to have it more towards the center. I'm gonna make that quick adjustment right now. That looks better, and I do have this message up here that's saying that it is having trouble calibrating the camera to these dots, so that this image is just for reference. So we'll probably want to turn on laser module position. When I turn that on, I get a little red crosshairs. That is the actual position of the laser module inside of the machine. In fact, if I open up the lid and by hand, if I start moving the laser module around, we will see that the red crosshairs follow the laser module. Pretty cool feature. When it comes to graphics, I've got a lot of options. I can use the built-in graphics with the LDS software. I've got all of this clip art. If I want to do an animal, I can click on the little caret here, and that is going to open up the rest of the animals that I have access. That again is included with the free LDS software. The other thing that I can do is import my own image. I think that's what I'm going to do for today's video. All right, I'm going to pick this file right here, click open, and it's going to see that the image is much larger than the canvas area. Do I want to resize it? Of course I do. And then it's also going to say that it can't find the font down here at the bottom. I'm going to click on, this is actually going to say, okay, I'm going to let LaserPecker know that this is not in the language that I have selected for using the software. Now, right now, everything is all together. So with everything all selected, I'm going to come up here and go ungroup, and I can delete out freepatternsarea.com, which of course is where I source today's graphic. I'm not affiliated with them. I just find that they're a great source for high quality SVG files. And with that, we're going to get rid of that. I'll reselect everything and regroup it. And with the camera view, I've got a pretty good idea of the size of the material and where I'm placing the graphic. I think this looks pretty good. Actually, I'm going to make this about as large as I can. I like the way that that looks. And from here, I'm going to go and select some different materials that I can pick for today's project. That's going to be up in this corner right here. And I believe the last thing I had selected was 3mm cherry board. This is going to be oak, and it's standing up on the end grain. So it's going to be a pretty tough material to try and engrave, but I think the machine is going to easily be able to do that. I'm going to see first if they have oak in here or if they've got something very, very close to it. They don't have oak, but walnut is a pretty hard solid wood too, so I'm going to pick that. I'm going to reselect my graphic, and to pick up my settings, I just click on the little chart here, and we're going to pick something like that, and we're going to see that it updates my settings when I click on any of these different squares down here. it automatically ports the settings in, making it much easier to use the machine. So I spend less time in the software and more time making some fun projects. Now, because I'm not using actual black walnut and I'm engraving into the end grain of that oak, we're actually going to bump up the power to about maybe 75-ish% and the speed. I'm going to slow that down to about 200 millimeters per second. We're only going to do one pass, and to set the focus on the machine, there's a little measuring tool here. I click on that, and it's going to put a little box around my mouse cursor, and wherever I click, it is going to take a measurement there. I'm going to go right here, and we'll see up here I now have a distance measurement of 68 point something millimeters. I did grab a measuring tool and measured the thickness of it, and it matches right up, which is pretty neat. I remember from the previous video that the overscan distance is set very small, which means the laser had a tendency of burning extra deep out on the ends of the travel. So to get rid of that, I'm going to go from 2.5% up to 10%, give it a little bit more time to slow down and speed up and even out the engraving. That's just how quick and easy it is to get a project started with the software and the machine. I simply placed material in the machine, picked a graphic, refreshed the camera view, took an automatic focus measurement, and here we are. I'm ready to hit the start button and run today's sample project. All right, so I'm gonna do like a split screen or something here. I'm gonna hit the start button on the machine and have the computer running, and we're gonna see we get a live view of the machine running while the project is being made. That's thanks to the built-in camera on the machine. This is also going to be my preferred way of filming the projects on the machine. Because this is a class 1 laser safe enclosure, it is actually kind of hard for me to get good camera views of what's going on inside of the machine, but the camera already built into the machine does a great job of showing the progress on this project. 27 minutes later, and the project is all complete. Before I take it out, I wanted to see how accurate the camera is between the computer and where it engraved on the project material. In the LDS software, I'm just going to click the camera refresh, and then we're going to see how well everything lines up on the computer screen. And let me zoom in, and so far it looks pretty good. We're off just a little bit at the bottom. When I zoom up towards the top, we see it's just off a tiny little bit. Left and right, it seems to be right on. Camera systems, they're typically going to be accurate within about 3 to 5 millimeters. This machine has consistently had accuracy under 2 millimeters, which I think is phenomenal. Now with all of that, I'm going to run around to the front of the machine and let's check out today's project. Get both of the doors open, and I have not looked at this yet other than the preview through the computer screen, and check this out. Get that placed right there. I think that looks pretty cool, and I don't even have any wood finish on it yet. One last thing I want to do is open up the front here and see that even though I've got this thick piece of material, the tray inside of the machine can still go down another 1 or 2 slots. So I can do something yet another about 2 inches or another 50 millimeters thicker than what I used on today's material. Thanks for joining me in today's video. I hope that you enjoyed this content, and I hope that you'll join me for future videos where I'll be taking a look at the rotary attachment for the LX2. If you enjoyed this video, Don't forget to show it some love by giving it a like or subscribing to the channel. Not only does it help this channel grow, but it's an awesome way to connect video content like this with other great viewers just like you. And until we meet again in the next video, I'm Greg from the Laser Channel, where we learn, create, and share.